If you knew morning wood, then you know why I feel blue. Without morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you, yes, I love you, morning wood. Morning wood, morning wood. Oh, how my heart yearns for you. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you, yes, I love you, morning wood. Morning wood, morning wood. Pretty, 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 pretty morning wood. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you and I need you, morning wood. I love you, morning wood, with a love so rare and true. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Well, I love you, I want you, morning wood.
Rise and shine. This is the Morning Woo, coming to you live from an undisclosed office location in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, Twitch, and now on Instagram Live on the Let's Go Devils Network. Actually, we're not on X Live. I don't know what happened. It says we're streaming on my computer, but I don't see the post. And sometimes these technical issues happen from time to time, folks. Nothing we can do about it. Sometimes other locations where we stream just simply doesn't work. Don't know why. But we're live right now on the YouTube Live. I see Gears of John. I see Wimpy, Maria, Metalander, and let's see. Well, we'll talk a little bit about Jack Hughes because the title of today's podcast is Better Be on Time. And we'll get to that a little bit later in the program. I see Pete M. Chiming in, all that. So let's talk a little bit about Olympics. Wow. The dominance of Team USA women's ice hockey. Should be noted that they are just absolutely blowing through the preliminaries, through the tournament right now, shutting out Canada yesterday 5-0. Unbelievable start. Outscoring their opponents 20-1 so far at the Winter Olympics. Just absolute dominance. And ice hockey has come a long way in the United States, let me tell you. I mean, when the 1980 team beat the Soviets, won gold in Lake Placid, last time the men's ice hockey team has won gold, they opened the doors ice hockey in the United States because, it was primarily, the Canadians and the Soviets and the Eastern European countries. But the United States always struggled at ice hockey back in those days, or at least on the world stage. But now, the teams that the United States are putting out on the ice, both men's and women's, they just blew down that door. Just absolutely blew down that door. And it's going to be fun to watch the rest of the way. The women's, the men's teams, saw that the men's teams were, a lot of the players were watching the games, watching the women's teams play yesterday, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's a real good thing. And I'm just loving the international competition, and I'm really enjoying just the whole Olympic spirit. We talked about those that are playing at the games, like Lindsey Vonn. Again, tore her ACL, now has two broken, broke her leg in two different places, surgery after surgery. The love of the game, the tragic story of one of the men's figure skaters whose parents died in a plane crash about a year and a half. It's not even a year and a half, but last year in January, and skating in the Olympics. The quad god, okay? The quad god, another Olympics men's skater for the United States, outperforming the competition yesterday. So I'm really enjoying the Olympics so far. Watched a little bit of the luge, watched a little bit of the speed skating, which they're just absolutely just insane. Curling, men's and women's mixed doubles, I believe, got silver for Team USA, but they were able to beat Italy in the semifinals round. Again, I just love the competition. I love the attention to details. I love the tears at the end, whether it's good or bad when you finish a race, because you want it more. You want it more. And that's the Olympic spirit that drives fans to be watching these games. On another note, let's switch back to the NHL. Let's switch back to Devils hockey. And I posted it on my X account at Primetime Sam Wu. Kristy Flannery's interview with Brett Pesce. You could go on my X account, and it's there. It's probably on the top of the feed. Kristy Flannery, good friend of the podcast, other hockey news. The articles, or it's called Devil's Dish. Brett Pesce reveals which teammates are most likely. So you go through this article, and I'll let you go through that article. And one thing in particular kind of irked me. And we've been saying it all along. We've been saying it all along about this New Jersey Devils team. The lack of discipline, the lack of leadership, bad habits. But this one, I'll read this out loud. Again, you could go find it on the Hockey News, Kristy Flannery, her interview with Brett Pesce. One of the questions she asked Brett Pesce was, which teammate is most likely to show up late to an event? And then there's an editor's note. Prior to Pesce responding to this question, I revealed that Luke Hughes was the original answer to this question. But Pesce says, I will go with Jack Hughes. And then pause for 3 seconds of silence, followed by a 10 seconds of laughter. I feel like he has been late to a few things in the past, so I feel like sometimes guys are just used to it. Then the Hockey News asks, do Jack and Luke carpool together to events? Oh yeah, they will be the last ones there. Okay, I don't want to make such a big deal of this, but it's the little things that count. I can tell you, you can't build a winning team if the two players that are on top of your payroll and the marquee face of your franchise, the faces of the franchise, are late to these fan events, I'm assuming. I would assume they're late to practice as well, reading between the lines. But I'm assuming. So don't hold me to it, but I am assuming. That's a problem. That is a big problem for any organization. Showing up on time is a prerequisite to success. You prefer to show up early. If you're showing up late to a fan event where the fans not only pay money to come see you, but you're late, in my mind, that is disrespectful. And the way it came off in the Pesce interview was, this is not the first time. It's, it's never okay to be late, but every once in a while it's understandable, right? You try to hold yourself to be a professional, okay? A professional. What do professional hockey players do? They show up on time, no matter what, and they play the part. And if you can't do that for the fans, especially the Sweep the Deck, which is a charity event, which is about $800, minimum for fans to pay. I know it's charity, but to come to see you, you could at least have the decency to show up on time. And that's a problem off the ice. Is it a problem on the ice? What if you're a teammate of Jack and Luke? How would you feel if you're doing the right things, but the star players on the teams are not doing the right things, like showing up on time, and they're not being held accountable? Do you know what that causes? That causes resentment. That causes a dysfunctional locker room. Again, everything counts. Every little bit of these things count. Think of in your work life when you go to work. Everybody has that coworker that never shows up on time. Always gets away with stuff. But somehow you're held accountable even though you do the right things, but that one coworker that you always have to make up the difference for their tardiness, lackadaisicalness, and somehow you're holding the bag and getting paid less than that coworker that never shows up on time or calls out sick conveniently when things are bad at work. I'm just trying to dumb it down to the point this cannot happen. Metalander says, people pay to see me play. A quote from Jack Hughes. If you remember that episode. And Years of John, that's what I've been saying. The ownership has given them the keys to the organization. We've been saying this all along on the podcast. I completely agree with you. Pete says, I was raised, if you're not ready to go for whatever 15 minutes early, you're late, whether it's hockey, wrestling, baseball, dance. Any successful organization has discipline. It's a team concept. Everybody show up on time. Now, there are some people out there that don't think it's a big deal. Well, those are the people that are not successful. And if you want to build a championship team, you have to have your leaders lead by example. I'm sure Nico Hischier is on time. I'm sure the rest of the guys are on time. But it's just amazing how Brett Pesce put that in an interview, And I think we've been saying it all along. And you know who said it first, really? You guessed it, Travis Green, when he said that they're immature. Well, that's an immature thing to do. You know, and I don't want to keep on harping on the Hughes brothers, but when you're losing and you're trying to figure out why with all this talent, there you go. There you go. Years of John says that's part of the divide in the locker room, not likely. Wimpy says his on-ice play isn't much of a problem to me. The character is a problem, and, of course, the injuries. Well, the injuries, to be fair, let's not go there just yet. All right, you know, freak accidents happen, but, you know, I think the lack of effort on Jack's part, he could have played that game if he wanted to. I'm not saying he should have. I'm just saying, well, no, I am saying they should have, because you're leaving for the Olympic break and you're telling us that you can't play, but now all of a sudden, miraculously, you can practice and miraculously, you may be in the lineup. Roman says the margin in the NHL is so thin, championship teams are the best at everything. No team with Hughes brothers will ever make it to the conference finals. Well, I would even further that argument. No team with the Hughes brothers not held accountable will ever make it to a conference final. Accountability is everything here. But the problem is Tom Fitzgerald has backed himself into a corner. He doesn't have the leverage here because the Hughes brothers can do whatever they want. They could do whatever they want. What are you going to do about it? There was a show, a podcast, you know, I forgot the name of it, but said it best. It's right now you backed yourself in the situation with the cap situation where you're kind of like, you know, living paycheck to paycheck. You're living day to day with this cap situation that Tom Fitzgerald's backed himself in. You've got your two best players, one of your two top players, Jack Hughes and Luke Hughes, again, not performing to their potential. You asked Dougie Hamilton if you want to be traded or we want to trade you, but if Dougie Hamilton is showing up on time, and Dougie Hamilton, yeah, sure, he makes $9 million AAV, but if he's doing all the right things, and yeah, I'm sure the performance is not there, but neither is Luke's or Jack's, why should he have to go? Or even Palat, for that matter. Yes, Palat's numbers were bad, but if Palat was showing up to practice and leading by example at the time, you have to reward good behavior. You have to reward good behavior. And I hate to say it, you know, unless the Hughes brothers figure this thing out quickly, you might as well ship them out. And I hate to say it, because there's one thing a pet peeve of mine that I cannot stand is when people are late and they know they shouldn't be. You know, of course, things happen. You get stuck in traffic. I get it. But when it becomes a habit, it affects everybody else in the room. And, you know, and that's what I got out of Kristy's article. I know interview. Go to the Hockey News, Kristy Flannery. Go to her X account at NHL Stilettos on X. You'll find her. But I thought that was kind of, I know Pesce was laughing about it, and I know that, you know, as he was saying it, but I think he was also sending a signal as well to the fans. Like, this is what's happening. And this is not good. This is not good. I know it's just an event. But, you know, and again, fans have told me that Jack and Luke travel together, and at the end of the game, they don't sign autographs with fans, and not that they should be obligated to, but they blow by everybody while the other players are signing autographs for fans. Just remember who pays the bills and where that money comes from. And I think this entitlement mentality that seems to be in the locker room is what's destroying the New Jersey Devils. Years of John says, I think it's a big deal. It's the small details that build character and accountability. I hate harping on it too, but there are multiple sources calling out Jack and Pesce and Rupp. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you can't build a successful organization and get paid that much money. Jay Snow says, Luke worries me more than Jack. The fact that scouts think that Luke will have a short career because of injuries his entire life is a huge problem. Not sure about that, but I'll take your word for it. PDP48 says Jack is going to be embarrassing at the Olympics. I kind of disagree with you there, but again, you got to play the games to really know. But, I was watching Jack Hughes' interviews at the Olympics. He was a good interview. He obviously knows how to interview. I know, like, Scotty and a few people are like, oh, he's a bad interview. No. Jack will have a good interview with you if Jack wants to. Again, Metalander says all have no movement clauses. Unmovable. Well, when you make players' lives a living hell, they can be movable. They definitely can be. Let's see here. Dag for hands at early morning woo. Well, not exactly. It's 8:32 p.m. Eastern. Also, no regrets on drafting them. It's how this organization develops talent and character. Yeah, we've talked about it. There's a systemic problem with the New Jersey Devils. This ownership group doesn't know how to put a winning team together, and that's just affecting everything. It's something that really they didn't. In fairness to Jack and Luke, they had no time to grow up, and that's where the immaturity lies. And you're not in New York, but you're in New Jersey. Jersey people can spot a phony. Jersey people demand respect. Jersey people will give respect when they are respected. And again, Luke getting booed, some of it justified, some of it not. Jack, again, wouldn't address the fans. A simple question from Danielle McCartan and saying, I have nothing to say to them. And, of course, Devil social media has to, put more gas on the fire by cropping out Quinn. I get it. It's an inside joke. I get it, but learn how to read the room. At the same time, season ticket holders, have you gotten your renewals? Tom was telling me originally that there would be a price increase with these renewals, but they kind of held back. Normally, they have those renewals out by mid-January, end of January. Now it's about mid-February. They sent out the renewals. No change in price, at least on my end or on Tom's end. And I'll compliment the Devils where it's due. I'm glad that you decided not to increase the ticket prices based on principle, based on the fact that this team sucks right now. And I'm sure the Devils management have been overwhelmed with complaints from Devils fans across the board. And because of that, they decided not to raise the ticket prices, as that was a very, very smart move. I can only speak for myself and Tom because we talked. There was extra game that was added on to the package. But other than that, prices stayed the same. Felix says, Fitzy will not make the guys live in living hell. We need a guy like Lou or Lou himself. Oh, yeah. Fitzy's just too nice. He is too nice. And with the 25 games that the Devils have remaining, again, they're going to have to. I don't think winning 20 games is going to do it. 20 games will probably get you to the 98-point mark right now. The Devils have to go 21-4 in order to make the playoffs, and barring any miracle or them streaking, it's just simply not going to happen. Anyway, all right. Well, that's all, folks, for the Morning Woo. 130 straight days of this fine programming. And, we talked more Devils hockey today. Also, Mets baseball. Mets making a couple transactions. Also, Juan Soto will be in left field. So going back to his natural position, Juan Soto. And, so I'm going to get out of here. Lots to do today. Lots to do. Let's do the ceremonial sip. To the people that show up on time, I salute you. Because for whatever reason, people have excuses why they don't show up on time. And they go to extremes to tell you why they didn't show up on time. And in my personal life, I fired a lot of people for not showing up on time. It's disrespectful, and you can't build a successful organization when you can't do one of the most basic things. Be on time. Leave a little early. Anyway, peace out. The ceremonial sip to those that show up on time. I salute you. Till next time, this is the Morning Woo. Let's go, Devils.
Morning Woo.